This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this Sunday morning. We will be taking a look at some of the Saturday stakes action as we move through today's show. I'll take a look at some stakes from a little earlier this week to start things out, and then go to the Keeneland Stakes action. And a little bit later in the program, we will be joined by Dave Grenig from the Daily Racing Form, the New York correspondent from the Daily Racing Form. And when we have Dave, we'll take a look at the really nice stakes action yesterday at Belmont. Many of these stakes with some Breeders' Cup implications. And a few weeks down the road, we are getting closer and closer to Breeders' Cup. So looking forward to that action, certainly. Do want to remind folks that if you want to come down to the Clubhouse Racebook today, you can watch all the racing action and all the football action as well, as it is an NFL Sunday here at the Clubhouse Racebook. Every Sunday during the NFL football season, come on down. You can put your name on one of the squares, maybe win a free jersey. Always a lot of fun here on Sundays. All the football, all the racing, Clubhouse Racebook. Also at the Racebook tomorrow, since it is a holiday, Columbus Day, some of the bigger venues are going, and there'll be a knockout challenge here at the Clubhouse Racebook, an additional promotion to add a little fun to the day. Tomorrow, Monday, on the holiday, love to have you down here, as I say, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. So, again, plenty of action here at the Racebook. If you'd like to choose this as your venue for watching some of the action over the next couple of days on this holiday weekend. Where did I printed up yesterday's, right here, yesterday's Empire 6 result. It was a mandatory yesterday down at Belmont. For your 20 cents, you would have gotten back $14,000. The sequence, it was a difficult sequence, and played out that way at the beginning, and that's what led to the $14,000 payout. A little bit later in the day, it became a little more logical, but I'm just looking, no favorites in the mix. The first couple of legs were maiden special weight races. They were both won by first-time starters and both paid over $20. So Nova Rags at $21 and change. The fourth choice in a field of 8. Hard Love, I'm going to have to check the name of the winner there in the second leg. But again, another first-time starter that won a maiden special weight. Sixth choice in a field of 11, paid $25 and change. So you had a couple of $20 winners there that were in the middle of the pack as far as their odds. So they, you could have spread there and gone a little slimmer in some of the other legs to wind up with this. But they I'm sure knocked out an awful lot of tickets right off the bat. And then Civil Union, a little bit of an upset minor, third choice in a field of 7. Civil Union wins the stake. Happy Saver gets it done over Tacitus, the Snake Pit Tacitus. Happy Saver staying undefeated. Civil Union paid $8. Happy Saver paid $6 and change. Tama here, Chad Brown runner, Chad Brown European transplant, pays $7 as the second choice out of 8. And then the finale was Herald Angel, the second choice out of 8. Tama here and Happy Herald Angel, both $7. Herald Angel, $7 and change. So, you had $21, $25, $21, $25, 8, 6, 7, 7. So the last four were certainly playable, probably on a lot of people's tickets, but they were only good on your tickets if you got through those first two legs. And so if you picked it up, congratulations, because again, you wound up with a nice chunk of change, 2.8 in the pool yesterday with the carryover and the mandatory $14,000 for the Empire 6 payout yesterday. As I say, it was a tough sequence. I say it all the time. I am more in favor of putting together not gimmies, but some more logical races. Those first two races, maiden special weight races, were tough. The last race was a little bit tough. It played out kind of logically with the second choice winning. But I'm more in favor of a string of more logical races. So rather than a small group getting 5 or 6 figures, I would rather a large group wound up with $800 or $1,500. And I think a lot of that money goes back in, and just goodwill. People walk away, hey, I was a winner. But it seems like a lot of tracks, in an effort to, I get it, you want big competitive fields, and then people will spread out and put more into the tickets, and so your mandatory pay, balloons up, and they're looking at the bottom line. I think the bottom line, just in a macro sense, is better when everybody walks away saying, oh, that was fun, I walked away a winner. But it's not just Belmont, it's everybody kind of shoots for a sequence that has a little bit of what yesterday's had in the first couple of legs. But again, if you picked it up, it was a great day for you, and so congratulations to anybody who in the local area who maybe did pull some of that money back up here to the Capital District. All right, let's take a look at some of the racing action. As I said, I'm starting out with some stakes from earlier in the week, and the week started was a really nice week for weekday stakes action. I'm just looking at a little tiny handful here, but there was some nice stakes action at tracks across the country on the weekdays this week. But I wanted to go back because we don't look at Finger Lakes all that often, but they had a couple of nice stakes races for 2-year-olds to start the week off on Monday and Tuesday. Monday was for the 2-year-old fillies, state breds, and I bring it up also because the winners were horses we saw up at Saratoga, and you could kind of guess that these were going to be players going forward in the New York state bred stakes division. And the Ladyfinger on Monday, the winner, as we watch the stretch run here, is going to be number 1, Party at Pages, for Jeremiah Engelhardt, coming out of a maiden breaker up at Saratoga last time. 2 starts back, it finished second behind Iron Constitution, and that one's nice debut effort. But again, followed up with a maiden breaker in the second career start up at Saratoga, and here we see getting it done as the number 1 horse. Nice late run to just get up over Summer Brew and Blame It on Mary. Summer Brew Summer Brew was still a maiden, had debuted down at Belmont and run 3rd in the career debut. So that was a nice try in the second career start in a $118,000 stakes race for Blame It on Mary. And then that one ran 3rd. Summer Brew ran 2nd. Summer Brew also still a maiden, but a good second behind Russell Veloce in the career debut, who I believe goes in a stake today down at Belmont. And Summer Brew in the second start tried the Seeking the Ante. Was a little bit disappointing there at Saratoga, but again, comes from that Saratoga start last time to complete the exact behind Party of Pages. But Party of Pages now, a couple of wins and a really close-up second-place finish for Jeremiah Engelhardt. So, as I say, nice state breds going forward, you would have to think, for the connections that came out of the weekend or the weekday stakes races at Finger Lakes. On Tuesday, it was the aspirant for the 2-year-old boys. And again, got to see a horse run and win that we saw up at Saratoga, also run and win for Steve Christ and company. Steve Christ, formerly from the Daily Racing Form, obviously, formerly from NYRA as well. He was running NYRA for a while, folks remember that era. But Thin White Duke who in the last start had won the funny side up at Saratoga. On Tuesday, gets it done in the Aspirant. He will be the number 4 horse here. Our man Mike, the number 3, runs second. That one, a maiden coming out of a 4th place finish in the debut up at Saratoga. And running third, It's Gravy, the number 6 horse, who was also a debut 2nd place finisher up at Saratoga in the most recent start. But you can see the nice late run here from Thin White Duke to go by the 2 maidens and get it done. Career win number 2 and career start number 6. So this horse has had some experience. Started at Belmont back in June, 3rd. Another Belmont start, 3rd. Went up to Saratoga, tried the turf a couple of times and ran 2nd. And then in the 3rd start at Saratoga this summer, moved back to the dirt in that funny side and won. And then follows it up with a win in the $120,000 aspirant for, as I say, Steve Asmussen, Phil Gleaves, also one of the owners, owner. So again, they've got a nice little New York-bred 2-year-old as well. So congratulations to the folks who got it done. Again, Monday and Tuesday, nice little kickoff to the week up at the Finger Lakes. Also wanted to show, I mentioned it yesterday, certainly talked about it on Friday on OTB Live when the race was run. But I wanted to show it. I said yesterday, as I talked to a couple of our guests, talked to Brian Edo on the Handicappers Report and Ellis Starr, both of whom watch and handicap Keeneland. Talked about the Buffalo Trace, Franklin County Grade 3 event, 5.5 on the grass, because this is some performance from Got Stormy. Got Stormy, as we watch the replay, is going to be the number 10 horse. Check the chicklet out and where she is. And she's in those Gary Barber pink silks. You can see still at the back of the pack. Into Mystic is going to be in the lead to 2. Jakarta, nice race. The number 5 winds up 3rd. But look at her come like a freight train here. She's just going to get up. We eventually have the photo as well. You'll take a look at that. Got Stormy. Oof, right on the wire. That was an incredible performance for a horse that I think a lot of people felt like, look at that. I mean, she just gets up by a smidge right on the wire. But Got Stormy, who just so talented throughout the career. That was career win number 10 in 25 starts. Just when you're playing at the highest level of the game, those are pretty good numbers. Puts her over the $2 million mark. I'm just looking now, the purse, so she would have gotten 69, puts her right in the vicinity of $2 million, I would guess. Just maybe just below. But one way, over or just below, a couple of $1 million in the bank, also very, very good numbers. But it was more notable just because of what she's done over the past 2 or 3 starts, in that I think a lot of people at the beginning of this season were kind of questioning, Got Stormy, now a 5-year-old mare. Has she lost interest? Because, I mean, we go back to last year, that week up at Saratoga where she wins the Della Rose, comes back a week later, faces the boys in the Grade 1 4-star Dave and wins that. Just misses up in Canada against the boys in the Woodbine Mile, runs 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Classic, wins the Matriarch. Then she comes back this year in the Endeavor at Tampa and runs 4th. I thought the 2nd in the Kilroe was okay, and so I hadn't given up on her, but then runs 4th in the Bogey. So again, we had started the season, after last season, we start the season with a couple of 4ths and a 2nd place finish, and I think people were kind of, as they say, thinking, maybe as a 5-year-old, she hasn't come back to what she was. Subsequently, she runs again in the 4-star Dave, a good 2nd with a solid buyer in the 4-star Day behind Halliday, and then goes down to Kentucky Downs and wins a turf sprint, wins it pretty impressively. And then that race yesterday, or Friday actually it was, Friday's race, the Franklin County down to Keeneland, where you saw just, got up with determination from, again, where she was when we picked it up in the stretch, and to get up like that in a turf sprint. That was a pretty nice performance, an impressive performance from Got Stormy. So happily, Mark Cassidy and company did not give up as easily as some of the fans did on Got Stormy, because again, the last 2 or 3 races have proven she's still got stormy. They've changed up a little bit, turf sprinting, but still got stormy. And don't forget the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland this year. So taking a look at some of these Keeneland races over the past couple of weeks with Breeders' Cup thoughts in mind, these are potentially horses that will come back in Breeders' Cup races. Same trip, same course and whatnot. So going to look forward to her going forward. Also, potentially, you would have to think Mr. Freeze will be thinking Breeders' Cup. I liked Aurelius Maximus in the Fayette yesterday at Keeneland. And I was surprised. We talked to Ellis Starr. Ellis also liked Aurelius Maximus. I think we were both kind of looking at that 10-1 and thinking, this is a horse that is going to run perhaps better than that 10-1 price. Well, the betting public was also thinking that. Eventually went at 4-1. But when I was in here doing OTB Live, as I looked up and handicapped the race 10 minutes before or whatever, Aurelius Maximus was at 2-1. So everybody was kind of on the same boat on the Asmussen runner. And if you bet Aurelius Maximus, you at least got your money's worth. Mr. Freeze takes the lead into the stretch, the number 6 horse, Dale Roman's runner, and Aurelius Maximus is the number 10. I thought Aurelius Maximus had the momentum here and was going to go by. Mr. Freeze just said, no, I am not letting you go by. And there are a couple of places, even here, you still think, it looks like the momentum going to go by. And then Mr. Freeze just keeps going, and gets the job done by a neck. Aurelius Maximus second, title ready, runs third in there. It was a nice run from Mr. Freeze, getting back on track. Hadn't had a win since the Gulfstream Park Mile back in February. Since then, a third in the Oaklawn Handicap, a little bit of a disappointment in the Met Mile, running sixth, and also a sixth in the Ali Sheba, but bounces back, going the mile and eighth yesterday in the Fayette. They were talking to Dale Romans in the winner's circle afterwards and saying, what might be next? Are you going to think Breeders' Cup? And he said, got to think about it, certainly, and mile or mile and a quarter. And Dale was, I think, we can maybe take our time, think about it, and pick a spot. But you would have to think, Dale's the kind of guy I think they'll seriously consider, given that, again, Breeders' Cup right back over that Keeneland surface, and he looked good on it yesterday. So Mr. Freeze back on track. Aurelius Maximus, I should say. Interesting to see where they go next with that one. This is still a pretty lightly raced 4-year-old. That was only career start number 7 for Aurelius Maximus. Only the second stake try. Back in 2018, Aurelius Maximus had tried the Champagne. They clearly thought they had a pretty good runner. Third career start, tried the Champagne, ran 4th in there. Subsequently, obviously, that was back in 2018. Subsequently, only 3 starts after that, before yesterday. So obviously a 4-year-old that had some dings in the career, but back on track now. That was a nice run from Aurelius Maximus. And again, it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward with that one also. Also on the card yesterday at Keeneland was the QE2 for 3-year-old fillies on the grass. I like Micheline. I got it, again, 2 races in a row. I got a good run. It just wasn't good enough. Micheline, who I put on top, 11-1 from a 6-1 morning line. I was thrilled with the odds. Micheline's the number 7 horse. The number 1 is Harvey's Little Goyle for Belmont. And again, it's one of those where she gets out there, she gets the jump on my runner here. Again, the number 7 is going to be Micheline, who makes a nice late run, really makes it interesting here, just comes up short at 11-1. Harvey's Little Goyle, the second choice at third choice at 7-2. The favorite was Magic Attitude at 8-5. That horse, the number 4, ran third in there. That was the Arnaud Delacour runner who came over from Europe and was really good looking in the Belmont Oaks in the last start. That one only good enough for third yesterday. But as I say, 2 races in a row where I thought this was the Fayette was. I had a little more confidence at the 8th or the 16th pole. This one, it was a little more of a chore, but had a little late run from Micheline that you thought might get the horse up there. Just didn't have enough with Harvey's Little Goyle for Belmont getting it done. And this is Harvey's Little Goyle is an interesting runner. I mean, they've tried the turf now 4 times in 8 starts. They've won a couple of the turf starts. They've won a couple of dirt starts. Ran 3rd behind Swiss Skydiver in the Alabama on the dirt. Wins the Grade 1 QE2 on the turf. So they have all kinds of options with this horse, and it'd be interesting to see if they choose a Breeders' Cup spot or maybe hold off, put the horse on the sidelines till next year and pick whatever spots they want. When you have a horse like that, the options are kind of unlimited. Turf, dirt, so we'll see what Harvey's Little Goyle does next, but it was a nice Grade 1 win on the resume for the Belmont trainee. All right, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do a little handicapping. I think we'll take a look, because on the one sheet today, my play of the day, I took a look at the pick 5 at Belmont, so maybe we'll just kind of quickly go through that sequence. And a few minutes after that, we will be joined by Dave Grenick from the Daily Racing Forum and take a look and a review of some of the stakes action yesterday at Belmont Park. All of that coming up right after this. Stay tuned.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player, to have a better knowledge of the game, to be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish in the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Sunday morning. Seth Merrow in the studio, as always. Thanks for joining us. Again, I'm going to take a little look at the early pick 4, actually, but I'll toss in the first race if you want to play a pick 5. But on the one sheet, I actually pared it down to races 2 through 5, the pick 4. And it is, if it holds up on turf, they're supposed to have a little weather today, I think, downstate, but I think it's more after the races, the last forecast I saw. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that things hold up for this afternoon on the turf, and that's how the pick 4, the selections, that's how I played them out. Weather was great here yesterday. I went out, got home and went out and ate some dinner, took a little walk in downtown Saratoga last night. A lot of people walking around, and it was a great middle of October evening. Yesterday. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of some of the weather yesterday, get outside and either a little yard work or maybe just a little recreational golf. Well, yesterday it would have been a good golf day. So again, it was a nice day here yesterday. Don't know how much more of that we have, so have to take advantage of it here in this area. But as I say, hopefully it holds up for downstate and our play. Again, I'll just quickly hit the first race just in case you're thinking pick 5 as well, but I'm more concentrating on that pick 4 on the one sheet. Again, you can get the one sheet every New York or Kentucky racing day at capitalotb.com. There's a handicapping drop-down menu and click on the handicapper support. Nice printable sheet. Selections today, Scott Benjamin has some Santa Anita. I did Belmont, Brian Edo. Took a look at Keeneland with the Matrix, so you can check that out. Opener at Belmont today, $50,000. Non-winners of 3, lifetime 6.5. I have it 5, 2, 1, and 3. Cobble Hill on top. It's Rudy Rodriguez, a horse that's been in some starter allowances most recently. I think class-wise maybe gets a little touch of relief in here in this 50 N3L, and is in some good form, particularly the races 2 and 3 back. The race last time, the return to Belmont from Saratoga was maybe a little bit disappointing, but it was also on the turf. So I think a little class relief getting back to the dirt where maybe the horse is a little bit better, as indicated by the last 2 and 3 starts back. Mission wrap it up in the second spot, just in some good form off the last start. Claimed out of that one up at Saratoga. Trainer's okay off the claim, so we'll look for that horse to be a player. And then Fortune's Fool. This one, the numbers are a little light over the past few starts, but the Jimmy Toner runner may have a horse for a course angle at play. Jose Ortiz jumps on board, and it's a horse that 3 starts, a couple of wins, and a second at Belmont. I couldn't ignore that horse for a course angle. Second choice on the morning line. I'll be interested to see where the betting public goes because, as I say, the recent numbers are a little bit light, but I won't be surprised to see a rebound with a return to Belmont Park. So 5-2, 1 and 3 in the opener. Then we kick off that play of the day from the one sheet, the pick 4 down at Belmont. And in the first leg, I'm going to use all 4 of mine in here. It's a maiden state bred, maiden special weight event, 7, 1, 8, and 2. And as I say, I'll use all of those. Brew Pub is interesting because this is a New York bred for Dane Kabisky, coming in from 3 starts so far, Churchill, Ellis, and last at Indiana Grand. The last start was on the dirt. It was a pretty good start that almost indicates the horse may be better on dirt. But clearly they think turf is where to go because the first 2 starts of the career were turf, and they get back to it here. But more notably, as I say, first 3 starts were Churchill, Ellis, and Indiana. So I just think it's intriguing that they're now saying, you know what, let's look at the condition book. Hey, let's take a shot against our own kind, the New York breds up in New York. So Dane Kabisky shipping in with Brew Pub, getting into the state bred company. I'll look for that one to benefit from that move. Flintshire's Rock, first-time starter by Flintshire. There was a sibling called Maxwell Esquire, second in debut, then won the second career start. A little bit of breeding there for Christophe Clement. Clearly can have them ready first time out of the box. You get one of the Ortiz brothers on board. It's just kind of all systems go with the right check marks and all the right columns. So number 1, Flintshire's Rock. Mind Freak in the third spot by Leia Band, who's okay, getting off to a start here as a sire. Not necessarily knocking it out of the park, but runners are doing okay. Mike Maker, on the other hand, over the past, really you go back to Saratoga, but Mike Maker at venues up and down the East Coast or east of the Mississippi, as you have to include the Kentucky runners in there. Mike Maker has been doing very, very well. So I'm going to pay attention to this one with, again, a little bit of breeding. A first-time starter outfit is running well. And then with some experience, Martinez for our friends at West Point Thoroughbreds and Company by Twirling Candy. There's some win early breeding there. First couple of starts were okay. Didn't jump off the page, but experience does count. So Brew Pub on one side, Martinez on the other. They bookend a couple of first-time starters. So we're mixing it up in here. Tanner's Neck Lane, I didn't use that horse, but there are a couple of workouts for another firster from Leia Band that make that one interesting. Jeremiah Engelhart has a son of Flintshire as well with Scotty. McLean's Music is the sire of Sonic Music. I like the McLean's Music runners. Christophe Clement has the second-time starter from California Chrome. So I could check off, I could hit the all button here and feel a lot better, but to make a ticket that is a little bit reasonable, I'm going to go 7, 1, 8, and 2 in the second at Belmont. Use all of those on a pick 4 play. Second leg of the pick 4, I'll go 3 deep in here. And again, these are contingent on races staying on the turf, and we'll know in a half an hour or so. Typically, scratches from New York come out at about, scratches and changes at about 11 o'clock. And as I say, the last I looked at the forecast, things are supposed to hold off until later in the day or even the evening, after races. So I expect things to stay on the turf. And again, that's what this is contingent on. But we'll go 3 deep in this race. I have it 5, 2, 3, and 1. In the third, Ms. Boombastic for Billy Mott. Maiden special weight to maiden claiming. first start, the third start were on the turf. Number-wise, they were both very good. Good in that they compare nicely with this group, particularly with this move into the claiming rank. So I'd expect the class move to move Miss Boombastic forward. Second slot, baseline drive goes out for Chad Brown off 3 starts that have been state-bred maiden special, open maiden claiming, open maiden special weight, Gulfstream Park, Saratoga, and Monmouth. So this horse has been all over in different conditions and whatnot. Takes the blinkers off today after having the blinkers on against maiden specials over at Monmouth last time. So they're experimenting and trying to find the right spot. Irad Ortiz jumps on board today. Just looking at this field and what we've seen from baseline drive so far, this may be the right spot for this one to put in a very good effort today. Third slot, I'll go with Jazzy Lady. Hasn't been seen since last year. The Ray Handle runner in 3 starts last September, October, November showed, kind of incremental improvement. I say a lot of times, lightly raced 2-year-olds, even lightly raced 3-year-olds, when they get a seasonal break like this and come back, sometimes they come back with some added maturity. If that's so, and this horse can move forward a little bit, Jazzy Lady becomes a player in here as well. So in the third at Belmont, 5, 2, 3, and 1, and I'll use the 5, 2, and the 3 in the pick 4 play. Fourth race at Belmont, we're going to pare it down to a couple in here, 3, 2, 5, and 4. Motivated Seller is Chad Brown and Klarovich. I say it all the time. I like that team for win early. I particularly watched them first time out of the box. Up at Saratoga, definitely, but really all over. First time out of the box, this one did get the win. But it was in January down at Gulfstream. Some win, lived up to some win early siblings. One Cool Daddy was a sibling that won its debut in Europe, and there was a sibling Spun d'Etat that was third, and then first. So this one lived up to the win early breeding of the siblings, and the sire Into Mischief now has been off. But Chad Brown typically has them ready off a layoff like this, and the Bullet workout just about a week ago says this one should be on her toes for the return. So I'll use her on top. Prairie Fire for Linda Rice comes in off a nice win last time and a state-bred optional claimer with a lifetime best buyer number that says, in career start number 14, maybe getting career best form right now. This is a horse that, over the career has had 5 wins and 14 starts, but buyer-wise, the numbers may be a little bit light as compared to what might be needed today. Certainly light as compared to the win last time, which is, as I say, maybe the horse just in kind of career best form right now, which is good. Career best for a 5-time winner out of 14 starts. Can't ignore that. Fangirl, I'm leaving out of the mix. That's one that I could see, lightly raced. That's got that potential for coming back with some maturity off a layoff. But I'm only going to go 2 deep in here. Field of 5. We'll try to get through it with the 3 or the 2. 3, 2, 5, and 4 in the 4th at Belmont. And we'll wrap it up in the 5th at Belmont with a maiden race. And so, again, we'll go 4 deep in here. With the ticket, we're hoping that somewhere along the line we get 1 or 2 prices that kind of juice things up a little bit. And the maiden races, I think, have that potential, the 2nd race and this 5th race. I have it 7, 9, 8, and 6. I'm going to put Adirondack Queen on top. Again, by Leia Band, who has some decent numbers with first-time starters. But the dam produced a couple of win early types. A sibling called Queen of Summer was 3rd in debut, won the 2nd start. A sibling called Black Lighting, 5th, 8th, and then won in the 3rd start. So you win in the first 2 or 3. That kind of indicates win early for me. So a little win early on top, a little win early underneath. This horse may be a little bit intriguing. Eric Kensell on board, who been on a little bit of a roll over the past couple of days. 2nd slot, I'm going to use Stay Home Mama. This is a sibling to a Freud of Mama, who was 6th in debut and then won the 2nd start. This one tossed in a little bit of a clunker in the career debut, but again, the older sibling was 6th and then won the 2nd career start. This horse goes maiden special weight to maiden claiming, which for Mike Maker is a potent move, and as I said earlier, Maker going well over the past really couple of months as well. So with Luis Saez on board, Stay Home Mama going to be in our mix. Nebo in the third spot. This one had a sibling called Miss Narcissist that was fifth in debut, but then ran off 3 wins, 2 of those stakes races. So I think there's some win early here. This is one of those that always leaves you, though, scratching your head a little bit. They paid $130,000 for the horse. They debut for a 40 tag, so a little bit questionable, but there's a steady string of workouts, and again, a little bit of breeding. We'll toss that one in. And employees only will also get on my ticket by Frost Giant from Linda Rice. We'll hope there's some win early there as well. So as I say, in the final leg of that pick 4, 7, 9, 8, and 6, we'll use all of those. And again, the one sheet available via capitalotv.com. There's a drop-down menu that says handicapping. When you drop down the menu, you see a link for the handicapper support. When it comes up, it's a nice PDF printable sheet. You can print it up, sit it next to you as you're playing at home, or I know they're typically available here at the clubhouse out in front with some of the other handicapping tools, the sheets out there. So if you ever come to the clubhouse, you can take a look out in front, and the one sheet's always available there. But if you've never printed one up or checked it out, by all means do so. capitalotb.com, handicapping drop-down menu, then handicapper support. And as they say today, Belmont, Santa Anita, Keeneland thoughts out there on the sheet. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, it was a really nice stakes afternoon yesterday at Belmont Park. We will reach out to our friend Dave Grenig from the Daily Racing Forum, who covers New York racing for the DRF. We'll get some of his thoughts on that Belmont Stakes action yesterday. All of that right after this. Stay tuned.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. You'll get live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual tote board, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform, and best of all, you get track prices. CapitalOTBBet.com. Bet any place, anytime at CapitalOTBBet.com. And be sure to download our new mobile app from the iTunes Store or Google Play. In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
The New York hero, Tiz the Law, and Manny Franco to win the Belmont Stakes.
When New York bred Tiz the Law won the 2020 Belmont Stakes, OTB TV was live with owner Jack Nolan to capture all the excitement.
And certainly, seeing what he did today, we think a mile and a quarter is well within his range, and hopefully he can prove it at Saratoga Racecourse.
For exclusive interviews and racing information, stay with Capital OTB and OTB TV and win more. Welcome back. Got a text from Dave. He's just running a little late, so we will get Dave on in just a couple of minutes. He should be available shortly. But in the meantime, brought this up yesterday, but I'll just get a little more in depth because it certainly is notable. The handle figures came out for the month of September, U.S. handle figures. 30% increase. And the handle numbers in the pandemic months have really held up. I said it yesterday. Out of all the major sports, horse racing seems to really have held up very well comparatively. There have been blips in some of the other major sports since they have started. Racing, of course, had that 5-track period where they kept going when no other sports were going. But then as other sports have started, as I said, they've had blips that really we've been, for the most part, happily, knock on wood, able to avoid. But given the nature of the sport, it is played along with kind of some sense of normalcy in that, for you and I who are maybe betting from home, betting from our computer, coming into the race book, the experience is pretty similar. Certainly Saratoga this year for everybody not being able to go, and I was lucky enough to be able to be there every day in the press box. It was a little bit disappointing, and to not have the 20,000 cheering people there, it was different. But again, as far as playing and participating on our side, there is a little bit of a sense of normalcy, and I think that's played out in that the handle numbers have been very good. 30% increase in September, phenomenal. And I think that just points to some of the other sports haven't gotten their attraction back yet necessarily for people, whereas horse racing not only has held up, but maybe has gained some fans, and certainly that would be good news, a silver lining in a tough time. But 30% up, an increase from September of last year, 802 million, September in 2019, 802 million, 1.04 billion this year. And as the article from Matt Hegarty in the Racing Forum notes, part of that due, obviously, September normally doesn't have the Derby. So the Derby card clearly attracted attention, always attracts attention. But as Matt says, that doesn't explain the whole picture, because the increase is more than what the Derby card did. So, it's a bigger issue than that. As I say, I think horse racing has perhaps gained a little popularity, and things have worked out nicely. Field size was up 4% as compared to field size last year. So that was good news. And I was looking some of the numbers. First 9 months of the year, total handle on U.S. races, it's down 2.7%. But with months like September, you have to think, again, that there was that whole period where there was only the 5 tracks going, so it's not surprising that it's down, but only 2.9% is pretty good given the situation. And once other tracks started to open up, the handle numbers really, nationally, the handle numbers at the 5 tracks that went, Fauner Park knocked it out of the park, no pun intended, with their handle numbers. So the handle for the 5 tracks, but there was only 5 going for, fairly extended period, a couple of months. Pretty much the better part of a couple of months. But then once everybody else got going, very good. The numbers at Saratoga were very good handle-wise. And so it has been, given the situation, just a pretty good year for horse racing overall. And so when these numbers came out for September, again, September numbers 30% up, partly, again, due to plugging in an event like the Kentucky Derby, which is always going to juice things up, but not totally explained by that, because the number was bigger than that situation. But again, just wanted to reiterate some good news for horse racing coming out over the past few days as the numbers were calculated and posted for September. All right, we will jump into another break and reach out to Dave Grenig. I expect he'll be available to jump back in now and as I say, go through the really, really nice stakes card at Belmont yesterday. So be back in a couple. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Again, apologies. We were having trouble with the phone yesterday. The windstorm last week, things, our power went out and everything got reset, and so we continue to have a little phone trouble. So I could hear Dave, he couldn't hear me, then he could hear me, then it was the reverse. And so rather than plug through that and put you through it, I'll just go through some of the stakes action yesterday at Belmont. We'll catch up with Dave a little bit later down the road at some point. But we'll work our way back from the Sands Point, which wound up the stakes action yesterday. In the Sands Point, I like Selflessly, and Selflessly went off as the 5-2 second choice. The favorite was Miss J. McKay at 2-1. Neither one of those ran well. Miss J. McKay 7th, selflessly ran 5th. The winner, however, was actually the second choice at 5-2, Tamahir, getting it done pretty convincingly for Chad Brown. First time in the United States for Chad Brown. I was not totally convinced on this one. The number 2 horse, Speak to Me of Summer, another logical player, gets up for second. But I was not totally convinced on this one. Looking at the European record, I thought it wasn't really going against top class quality over there. So I was willing to kind of step back and watch one. I watched one win. So for me, it didn't work out. But again, went off as a second choice at 5-2. So the betting public was thinking, Chad with a European shipper, we'll put that one in the mix. Pretty good looking performance there. It was a chart margin of a couple of lengths for Tamahir in the Sands Point. So again, nice effort there. Jockey Club Gold Cup. Again, I was on the outside looking in as I thought Tacitus. To me, Tacitus. Here's the spot to put a grade 1 on your resume because, this was not a strong edition of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Tacitus against 4 others, 2 of those 3-year-olds, and with the 3-year-olds step up. But if you're a 3-year-old and you want to take a shot, here's the race to take a shot. Again, it's not a strong field, and really the one obstacle you were going to have was going to be Tacitus. And I said I could have made a case for either one of the 3-year-olds. I just thought Tacitus looked so good in this spot. Tacitus is going to be the number 4 horse. And after having led early in very reasonable fractions, you can see here the 2 3-year-olds surround him, and you knew, Tacitus is done. It's just which 3-year-old is going to get the win. Coming up the rail is Happy Saver, the number 1. Mystic Guide, the number 5, was competitive there for a few strides. You thought maybe he'll get it done. But coming up the rail, Happy Saver stays undefeated for Todd Pletcher and company under Irod Ortiz. Pretty nice win for that one. Started the career at Belmont back in June. Nice win in a maiden breaker. Then won an allowance up at Saratoga. Followed that up with the Federico Tessio down at Laurel. And you'd have to think out the win out of the Tessio. They may have been thinking Preakness, but they made the right choice, I think, to step into a grade 1 like the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Automatically makes this horse, an interesting sire prospect with a race like that showing up on the resume in the sales catalogs down the road, you would think. But 4th start, 4th career win, and a nice win. I mean, 3/4 of a length. The other competition was the other 3-year-old Mystic Guide. That was a nice effort for that one. Nice grade 1 black type placing in the Jockey Club Gold Cup off of the win last time in the Jim Dandy for Mystic Guide. So the 2 3-year-olds run very well, and Tacitus runs like Tacitus, tossing in a little bit of a disappointment yesterday in the Jockey Club Gold Cup as the 3-5 favorite, runs 3rd in there. A little bit earlier on the card, it was the Flower Bowl, 1.25 miles on the turf for the ladies. I like Nay Lady Nay. I was kind of surprised that horse took as much action. Early on was the favorite. I thought the other 2 Chad horses would get more action, and eventually Cambier Park did, becoming the 2-1 favorite. And Nay Lady Nay was the second choice at 5-2. Third choice was Civil Union from Shug McGahee, and I was surprised the 4th choice at 5-1 was My Sister Nat. Of the Chads, I kind of thought that would be the horse that would take the money, but no. But My Sister Nat, good second here, but can't get by Civil Union, the number 3 horse, who takes the lead here. My Sister Nat, the number 2, makes a nice late run, but just it's not enough. You get to the wire, and Civil Union holds on at 3-1 for, again, Shug McGahee, Joel Rosario on board. This one was coming off of a win in the Glens Falls last time, had won the River Memories at Belmont 2 starts back, had won an allowance 3 starts back. So now this is a 4-win streak for Civil Union on a nice little roll. 5-year-old, lightly raced 5-year-old mare. This was win number 5 in start number 8 only. So nice little runner for Shug getting it done in the grade 1 Flower Bowl yesterday. And kind of a salty little field in there. The Chad runners all have talent. Nay Lady Nay, as I say, wound up 3rd. My Sister Nat 2nd. Nay Lady Nay 3rd. Cambier Park runs fourth in there. But the Shug McGahee runner getting it done over the 3 Chad Brown runners. All right, let's go a little earlier on the card and take a look at the two-year-old races, which you would think will have some Breeders' Cup implications, and a couple of nice performances in both of these events. We'll start out looking at the Frizette for the 2-year-old ladies. Vikquist was the 4-5 choice. Vikquist, the number 1 horse. I like Cantata, the number 2 for Steve Asmussen off a big debut went up at Saratoga. Cantata kind of disappoints. You can see the 2 chicklet back there. But Day Out of the Office looks pretty good. Took the lead into the lane and keeps a margin of 2 lengths between that one and Vikquist, the favorite. They are well clear of the 3rd place finisher, Scylla, the number 3 horse. But Day at the Spa, second choice at 5-2 over 4-5 Vikquist, or Vequist, I guess it's called. But Day Out of the Office, Tim Ham, as I understand, his first Grade 1 winner, and this horse is now undefeated. Gulfstream Park broke the maiden back in May, then tried the Schuylerville up at Saratoga, won that one, both of those by open lengths, and now open lengths as well for the Frizette. 3 for 3 in the career, and a nice little 2-year-old filly for trainer Tim Ham, who is also one of the owners, so congratulations to that team. Junior Alvarado on board yesterday. And we will wrap things up, as we should wrap things up, with an exclamation point. It started the stakes action at Belmont, but we'll wind up with the exclamation point. You would have to think, I mean, the winner last week at Keeneland will take some action. The 2-year-olds on the West Coast, not so much so. You would have to think Jackie's Warrior now goes into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as the favorite. Jackie's Warrior yesterday in the Champagne for the 2-year-old boys. Grade 1 event, $250,000 up for grabs, the 1-turn mile at Belmont. And for a while you thought reinvestment risk was going to make this a race, but no. Jackie's Warrior, the number 4, over number 5 reinvestment risk. Number 6, Midnight Bourbon, running 3rd. But as I say, there were a few strides there where you thought, oh, this is going to be a race. But Jackie's Warrior just pulls away. The chart margin here, 5.5 for the 4-5 favorite. Even money on reinvestment risk. That one runs a clear 2nd. And as I say, Midnight Bourbon running 3rd. Another Steve Asmussen runner. But Jackie's Warrior now, debut win at Churchill, looked very good. Validated that, winning the Saratoga Special in fine fashion. And we all remember on closing day, the hopeful at Saratoga with just an eye-popping performance there, followed up by yet another exclamation point eye-popping performance in the Champagne. As I say, Jackie's Warrior has to be going into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as the favorite, you would think. So, again, nice day of stakes racing yesterday at Belmont. Also, a couple of nice stakes at Keeneland. Took a look at some of the weekday stakes as well, including the 2 for the New York-bred 2-year-olds earlier this week out at the Finger Lakes. So hopefully that gives you a little information going forward, watching some of these horses when they come back, wherever it may be. And clearly, at least a few of them, it will be Breeders' Cup in a few weeks. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. Do want to remind you that, again, Clubhouse Racebook today. Stop on by for some football action and some racing action. NFL Sunday, put your name on a square, maybe you win a jersey. Have some fun down here at the Clubhouse Racebook and join us for football and racing every Sunday during the NFL season. Tomorrow at the Racebook, it is a holiday, Columbus Day. Some of the bigger venues are running, so a knockout challenge tomorrow here is an added benefit to coming and joining us here at the Clubhouse Racebook. 7-Eleven. Central Avenue in Albany. We'd love to have you down here today, tomorrow, throughout the holiday weekend. I'm going to wrap things up for Racing Across America, but I'll be back an hour and a half or so to kick off OTB Live for a Sunday afternoon. We'll be taking a look at some Belmont, some Keeneland, some GPW, Gulfstream Park West, all of that this afternoon. And hopefully the game plan is to toss out some info that will get us all to the windows to cash some tickets. But in the meantime, I'm going to toss it to a little while. We'll watch the NYRA pregame show and more. And as I say, I'll be back in about an hour and a half. Appreciate, however, you're joining us this morning for Racing Across America. So wrapping it up for this edition, this Sunday morning edition, but be back in about an hour and a half or so for Sunday afternoon OTB Live, and we'll see you then.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.